Gables are chipping and rank with decay. The ivy vines browning and withered away. Winter has finally made its way to the lobster quadrille plantation. With a frail hoarfrost tenderly free, carried along on the bitter chill breeze, under and over the magnolia trees at the lobster quadrille plantation. Puffing white clouds in the dark neath the moon, chafing lips struggle to whistle a tune. Moonshine on trees to moan, hallelujah, in the lobster quadrille plantation.
Good evening and welcome to the Midway Radio. This is Blair Murphy, your host, and we're broadcasting live from the third floor of the Grand Midway Hotel. It's in the 40s last night, and it's chilly tonight too, so even though it's summertime, I'm going to be doing an October session this evening. All of this music tonight's going to sound like spiders creeping around Halloween. For what it's worth, I was raised in a funeral home. My parents were funeral directors. So I love that kind of music. That first song we heard was from the Lobster Quadrille. Solomon and his band have come here and played before. A lot of other bands have been here. They've come through the building. Well, it's 4 a.m. and the halls are quiet, but I know there's different people lurking around, so we'll see what turns up over the course of this evening. Sit back, light a candle, pour yourself a glass of red wine. I'm going to play now the legendary Damien Youth.
Guess I should apologize. I guess it was my first mistake. Every time I see your eyes, you're always looking down on me. I guess I never did confess. I wish I never knew your name. I guess I'm gonna close my eyes. Yeah. I should apologize. I guess it was my first mistake. Every time I ever lie, it's always coming back on me. Every time I see your eyes, always make the same mistake. time I see a sun, it's always coming down on me. Yeah, I wanna bury you deep in my conscience. I wanna bury you deep in my mind. I wanna bury you deep in my forest. I wanna bury you deep in my mind. So baby, we can make up. I don't believe in our word. I don't believe I can take it. I don't believe think I need to be alone. Never wanna see the sun. Think I'm gonna stay inside. Never wanna leave this room. 'Cause every time I ever try, I always make the same mistake. Yes, I finally realize nothing ever goes my way. Yeah, I wanna bury you deep in my conscience. I wanna bury you deep in my mind. I wanna bury you deep in my forest. I wanna bury you deep in my mind. Guess I should apologize. I guess it was my first mistake. Every time I ever lied, it's always coming back on me. Guess I never did confess. I wish I never knew your name. Guess I'm gonna close my eyes. Nothing ever goes my way. Yeah.
Welcome back to Midway Radio. That was Damien Youth. I'm going to be playing a lot of him tonight. I've known Damien 20 years now. We met at a glorious time for goth culture back in New Orleans in the mid-90s. He was playing at the Memnock Ball, Anne Rice's Memnock Ball, and as well as Leela Wendell's The Westgate Gallery, the House of Death Gallery, where I moved there, and Leela was my landlady, or kind of like my crazy aunt next door in a way, and it was just glorious. And another person that was hanging around at that time period was Ricardo Bocanegra, and he's a good friend as well. And Damien and Ricardo both have been to this hotel many times now playing. A lot of people know Ricardo from the Cadillac Creeps, but I'm going to play some songs from way back when he was living in Los Angeles. And the three of us were bumping into each other in different states, in Texas and in Seattle and in Louisiana and New York, and it was just kind of crazy, this map of gothic hotspots where we all kept crossing paths. So here's some early Ricardo Bocanegra from the fun, from the creepy days when everyone was a young batling. Welcome back to Midway Radio. This is Blair Murphy, your host. We're broadcasting live from the third floor of the Grand Midway Hotel. In that last song, the reference to Ligeia was a Poe reference, an Edgar Allan Poe reference in Ricardo's song. Just a side note real quick, there's a life-size doll of Linda Blair from The Exorcist, which has been missing for a while, and we just got it back in the building, and I hid it in the canopy room, so anybody walking by tonight will have a treat surprising them. So here I'm out in the hallway on the third floor with Joe Bob, who's living across the hallway in the Executive Death Suite. Joe Bob, what do you think of living up here on the third floor? We have a fine coffin here in the hallway, an antique coffin given to us by the Meek Funeral Home across the street. Joe Bob?
I put a blue light on that thing because that thing wanted a blue light.
Right.
And now it's blue.
Feels very funerary. What do you think of the vibe up here?
Good vibes, good stuff. All things good.
Excellent.
Except for that growling that was at the end of the hall. I was in there naked, so maybe that's what did it.
Did the Linda Blair statue get you at any one point?
No, I saw it there. Almost punched it, but, you know, I don't think Buddha would be swinging at people either.
Okay. Okay, well, it's great to have you up here. Going back to the music now. So... when we finally came here to the hotel and we set up our kind of Lord Byron looking camp. There was one band that Damien and I both had to agree if we could get somebody here, it would be Bauhaus. And Bauhaus, of course, broke up long ago. Peter Murphy and David J. band members in it. It appeared in the movie The Hunger with David Bowie, much earlier in the 80s, a vampire movie. And then, amazingly, Damien and David J. of Bauhaus became friends, and David J. came here to the hotel and performed his song Bela Lugosi's Dead on stage. So here's another legendary band in the goth world, a Bauhaus song.
Oh, classic gentlemen, say your prayers to the wind of prostitution, to your faces and Rex complexes, riddle my breast full of the oppressed pus. Oh, gentlemen, with your fish that you surround all around, and you, man, will always point your fishes at me. But I will always exist, because I always exist. Damn good too. The rat race begins, a fat face stings. I hold the fresh pink baby with a smile. I slice off those rosy cheeks because I feel so thirsty. And Oedipus Rex complexes riddle my closed, bloated breast.
The way the moonlight
Welcome back to Midway Radio. After Bauhaus, that was Devils in the Details with Cemetery Street. The Devils are sort of a new group around here. They're out of Pittsburgh, and they're sort of kind of like a surf, rockabilly, hillbilly, Cramps music, and Julie from the band and I text regularly. We're pretty tight buds, texting in the middle of the night. And we used their song in the movie Zombie Dream, which is being released right now. And then the next song was from the Dark Theater. Vlad is a guy out of Chicago, and I actually met him way back. He was probably the first person in the goth world that I met. Vlad described his music as industrial Egyptian metal. He was so cool. He was based out in Chicago, and so when I drove to his place, there was all these people. Like Gordon Melton, who did the Encyclopedia of Vampires, and Elaine Bergstrom was there, and it was just like a whole nother crossroads of Vampire Central. The next song was Screwdriver. I remember Damien and Betsy, when they were here, they said, "Hey, listen to this." And they were laughing about this song, and they were going, "Screwdriver, screwdriver, screwdriver." And that was the song by their Bud Badger, this guy down in New Orleans, who's Damien and I back then, we were mailing this CD with Badger's music out to famous filmmakers. I was sending it out all over the place. I remember writing the guy who did Harmony Korine. I remember sending a copy of that to Harmony Korine, who did the movie Gummo, and saying, I don't know why we did that, but I remember we were just mailing the Badger's CD out to lots of people. Anyway, so one night when Damien was still here, he said, "Hey, I wrote something. I recorded something tonight." This is right across the hall here on the third floor. He said, it's called Charles Ernst, and this is what he played for me. It was pretty creepy. He had this green light in his studio, and he hit play, and this came over the speakers.
Charles Ernst, born August 24th, 1925. I owe you one human head. I ripped your head from your dry body and carried it in a book bag through my small town. Then late at night, I dissected it under hot white lights in my dusty black room. Your dry root brainstem stuck out beneath comically. I snapped it off and stuck my finger, the intruder, through the new hollow opening into your brain pan where your thoughts once nested, the empty theater of your dreams. Your brain sac chipped apart and fell out like dry leaf. I rattled the particles loose, and a ghostly dust poured out and ascended towards the light, filling my room with your ash. I choked as I peeled your mask away from your hideous grin. With each flask of skin that peeled away, so fled my fear. I peeled you down to a silly boy's toy. I took you to my father's shed and put your head in the same vise I used as a small child to smash my sister's dolls. I put you in a rusty frying pan and scared my friends. I hid you under the American flag during band practice. I held you vicariously outside the window of my childhood and peered in through your eye sockets at my child self, and I became my nightmare, dressed as the robber. I held you up in front of my friend and moved your jaw up and down to a scratchy old record playing Jesus songs. I put you in the hands of a blindfolded man and then ripped the blindfold off and watched as he handled you in confusion, not knowing what to make of you. Me and Tim played pitch and catch with you in my front yard on football Sunday, and the neighbors never even noticed. The badger said he finally wanted to be alone with you. We gave a vial of your brain ash to a teenage boy, and I wrote silly notes to God and dead lovers on the dry flasks of skin that chipped away from your skull. The dust from your decapitation remained on my floor for weeks. People would stand in it, preachers, cops, and never notice. I would laugh. One day we decided you must go. I put you in a potato sack and smashed you up against the concrete floor of my father's shed. Then I took a hammer to you. We drove to the woods with an unsuspecting teenage girl, and I threw you behind the old school. I lost friends over you, Charles Ernst, the head of. Though some thought it was genius what we had done, but the maggots had got there first. Your eye sockets were already 2 graves filled with insect death. Your face looked like the Holocaust, and your tie looked like it strangled you. Your suit smelled like dry piss and looked like old newspaper. Your fingers bore no rings, which is really why we were there in the first place. After sawing away in vain at your oak tree neck with a dull butter knife, getting nowhere, I put my boot on your chest, dug my fingers in beneath your jawbone, and popped your head off with all the ungodly force I had in me, thinking, actually, not thinking, just feeling. I was in revolt. The living are a minority amongst the dead here. I felt powerful, manhandling death. I felt like a minority leader striking out against its oppressor. The head of Charles Ernst was the evil death head that wore my grandmother's face and crackled, chasing me through dark hallways of childhood nightmare, with a scarf blowing beneath it ridiculously. Maggot-eyed oppressor, I run no more, but turn and face you. I pluck you from the childhood nightmare, and I dissect you.
Welcome back to Midway Radio. This is Blair Murphy, your host, and we're broadcasting live from the 3rd floor of the Grand Midway Hotel. I hear somebody downstairs. Let's see who's walking around the halls. Good evening.
Hello there, sir.
What are you doing?
It's 42 degrees and it's fucking August.
It's 42 degrees?
I have long johns on.
It's August.
Yes, it's August, and I'm wearing long underwear and a sweatshirt. It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. This window
Yes.
is my favorite window in the whole world.
Martha's window to the...
Because I don't have to climb up all the steps or go down all the steps and climb up again. I just jump out the window and I can smoke a cigarette out there on the balcony. Phew.
Shoo.
It's important to me to not die while smoking, because I don't want smoking to be my death. That'll just, play into the whole smoking dying thing.
What, do you think this place is spooky?
I'm very scared.
Did you look in the canopy room?
In the what room?
In the canopy room.
I almost shit myself.
Following the silent hedges, needing some other kind of madness. Looking into purple eyes, sadness at the corners, works of art with a minimum of steel, pure sensation, a beautiful downgrade, going to hell again, going to hell again.
How about just this first page of chapter 2?
That sounds
This is the introduction to the main character. The last dying days of summer, fall coming on fast, a cold night, the first of the season, a change from the usual bland Maryland climate. Cold, thought the boy. His mind felt numb. The trees he could see through his bedroom window were tall charcoal sticks, shivering, afraid of the wind or only trying to stand against it. Every tree was alone out there. The animals were alone, each in its hole, each in its thin fur, and anything that got hit on the road tonight would die alone. Before morning, he thought, its blood would freeze in the cracks of the asphalt. On his razor-scarred, wax-scabbed desk before him lay a picture postcard. The design on its front was multicolored and abstract. There were splotches of deep lipstick pink, streaks of sea green and storm gray, flecks of gold embossed in thin, bright leaves. He picked up his fountain pen with the graceful heart-shaped nib, dipped its delicate tip into his bottle of ink, and wrote a few spidery lines on the message side of the postcard. Then the boy stretched his legs under the desk and with the bare toes of both feet grasped the bottle he had hidden there. The liquor inside was a darker amber than he was used to, and when he took a swig, there was a sharp taste of smoke behind the familiar musky burn that hurt his throat. He swallowed the whiskey, licked his lips to wet them with liquor essence and his clear spit. Then he picked up the postcard, brought it to his mouth, and gave it a whiskey tongue kiss. Kissed it as hungrily as he had ever dreamed of kissing the sweetest, richest mouth. And he picked up the pen again and signed his name. Nothing.
Some dried flowers that she placed within a book of all the photographs that she kept of him. There was some matches, a key, a ticket to a favorite cinema show, where all the lovers on the silver screen were just pretending to know what you already know. To be getting harder. Is there nothing she can do? Who says that time is healing all these wounds that you are feeling? Was just lying to you. Now you know that it's true. So just take the killer from my soul. Some dried flowers that she kept within a box, along with a book of photographs and some deep and distant thoughts. Well, she's clinging on to promises from a knight in shining armor who was wrapped in tin. But now the only thing that she says while picking up the pieces, I'll never give in, oh God, I'll never give in. So just take the killer from my soul. to me. It's easy to see what's happened to me.
Tonight I could be with you or waiting in the wings. Lift your heart with soaring song, cut down the puppet strings. Cut down the puppet strings. I wear a coat of drums and dance upon your eyes. Turn the tables upside down, change the lows to highs. Change the lows to highs. Butterflies crown the heads of kings. Be glad the first-night nerves for Vegan's courage wings. Vegan's courage wings. If I am on the sidelines, chances are you'll miss. Wait alone and spotlit for Dr. Goethe's kiss. The stage becomes a ship in flames. I tie you to the mast. Throw your body overboard. The spotlight doesn't last. The spotlight doesn't last. I could be with you or waiting in the wings. Lift your heart with soaring sun, cut down the puppet strings, cut down the puppet strings. I may tap you on the shoulder and whisper go in red. Strip your feet of lead, my friend. Strip your feet of lead. Call the curtain, raise the roof. Spirits on tonight. Call the curtain, raise the roof. Spirits on tonight. Call the curtain, raise the roof. Spirits on tonight. Call the curtain.
Welcome back to Midway Radio. This is Blair Murphy, your host. After Damien, that was Bauhaus, and then Poppy Z. Bright, the author, reading from her book Lost Souls when I recorded her down in New Orleans a number of years ago. Then Ricardo Bocanegra singing Sun-Dried Flowers, and then Bauhaus again. It was at one of the Anne Rice balls down in New Orleans where Damien played on one stage and Ricardo was playing on another stage. And I was invited to announce Ricardo's band, and I'd been drinking all night, and I was wearing a Santa hat, and I got up on stage in front of Ricardo's band, and it was a pretty big deal. And these balls were pretty big back then, and I said, "And straight from Tijuana," and then somebody yanked me off stage, and next thing I knew, I was on the ground, and I was fired. And I looked up, I was like, "Hey!" And they had some new person announcing Ricardo's band. Anyway, those were great days. Oh my gosh, they were just so much fun and so soaked in Gothic culture at that time.
Oh, it burns!
Oh, I just got Chef Tom good.
Oh, it burns!
Well, how was that? You stopped my freaking heart. That was unreal.
Yeah, we're funny. He got me good.
Okay, so long.
In the 90s in particular, it was a glorious time period. Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire had just come out, and Coppola had just done Dracula, and the Dracula 97 convention happened a little while later after that. I actually was doing the film of the convention. It ended up not being released as a movie, but there was like 2,000 scholars, I think, showed up in Los Angeles to do this Dracula 100-year anniversary, and our friend Catherine Ramsland was creating her book Piercing the Darkness, Undercover with Vampires. She was crisscrossing around the country at the time, and we were all friends with Mark Renhagen, and Mark had created Vampire the Masquerade, the game, and then he just got a TV show out of it, and that was being broadcast, and Vox, our friend Vox the Psychic, was on the radio all the time in Los Angeles just before Howard Stern. So every morning as I was driving into LA, coming from like New Orleans or from San Francisco, I would hear Vox on the radio, and I could call in, and she'd be like, "Hey, come on in, Blair, blah blah blah," and it was just, and then she and I would zoom to Vegas to visit the Blood Moon Social Club, and Mark Renhagen would join us, and then Ricardo would join us, and then we'd go to New Orleans, and we'd see Leela Wendell and at the Westgate Gallery, and Damien would show up, and it was just unbelievable, the crossover of all the friends, and go up to New York City, and Fred Berger was doing Propaganda Magazine, and there was so much goth culture, and it was such a tiny community too, that it was phenomenal, just phenomenal. And Trent Reznor was about to produce a new album on Magazine Street, and the night they were casting a band member, I was there, and the band ended up being Marilyn Manson, and they were doing the album Antichrist Superstar, which I was right there with all these other band members as they were doing the casting. Actually, after that audition, because they had all come from out of town, I was the only person there with a vehicle. It was my dad's station wagon from his funeral home. So all these musicians piled in my car, and they all put their bass players in the back of my vehicle, and we drove down to this bar in the French Quarter called the Hideaway, and this girl was flirting with me, and she was like, "Take me home," and so I drove her back to her house, and it was miles out of town. She tricked me. But what had happened was all these musicians started to sober up as the sun was coming up, and they were like, "Hey, that guy stole all our guitars." And I really had like 15 guitars in my car. So I showed up, I came back, and they were pretty pissed off. But then after that, I would see Twiggy and the rest of these musicians from Marilyn Manson's band regularly, and sometimes I would give them rides back from this bar, the Hideaway, down in New Orleans, and just an incredible time period. All the stuff going on and being front and center with all this simultaneously. It was really pretty amazing. You know, like Trent Reznor would drop them off at the Hideaway. We'd all drink for hours, and then I would drive them back in the middle of the night in my dad's funeral home car. And then they went on tour, and they all became like multi-millionaires overnight. it was a pretty enchanting, dark, creative time period. Damien was getting so much attention at the time when the Goth Bible came out of England, Mick Mercer's Hex Files. He actually proclaimed Damien. Here's what he writes in this book, and here he is, the real star of the book, right at the end of it all. Edgar Allan Poe just picked up a guitar, and this is like 150 pages or so of artists, and Damien ended up being. Mick Mercer celebrates 150 pages of different artists in his book, the Goth Hex Files, but Damien ended up getting the greatest laurels of all, and he really is a talent. I'm gonna round this up now with all just Damien youth music. The next couple songs are just going to be a string of Damien songs because Damien and his wife found this place, so I want to do a tribute, just a string of Damien songs now coming out of here. So I'm going to start with the first song that I ever heard of Damien's. I walked into the Westgate Gallery down in New Orleans, and this song Moon Spells was playing, and there was the statue of Azrael, the angel of death, was down there, and that statue is now here in the hotel. Leela Wendell, after she closed the Westgate down, donated it here, so it's up here on the 3rd floor, 2 rooms down from me. Spooky. Okay, Moon Spells.
Satan's an angel. Kiss me in my dreams, lie awake. Lothians, send me an angel. Worship me.
I saw visions in Mystic Hue, Mystic Hue. And it filled me with desire, with desire, with desire. You lied holy under winter moons, winter moons. Let me cover up your eyes, up your eyes, up your eyes. Pull my spirit deep inside of you, inside you. I taste blood and candlelight, candlelight. And I wake up and I'm shaking, and I didn't wanna cry, I didn't wanna cry. You're my fading little star. And I fall down and I'm crying, and I don't know where you are, I don't know where you are. You're my fading little star. Na, na, na. I see devils in this lonely room, lonely room. I see angels in your eyes, in your eyes, in your eyes. I go silent in the mystic hue, mystic hue. As you whisper your goodbye, your goodbye. And I wake up and I'm shaking, and I didn't wanna cry, I didn't wanna cry. You're my fading little star. And I fall down and I'm crying, and I don't know where you are, I don't know where you are. You're my fading little star. Na, na, na. Na, na, na. And I wake up and I'm shaking, and I didn't wanna cry, I didn't wanna cry. You're my fading little star. And I fall down and I'm crying, and I don't know where you are, I don't know where you are. You're my fading little star.
And the reason we laugh is for one day we'll cry, like the reason we live is for one day we'll die. And the reason we give is for one day we'll steal. is a song for a world that can't feel. Is a song for a world that can't feel. She was once a good friend of mine. We would gather up stones and we'd laugh all the time. She'd paint pictures and maps of the stars in her eyes, fill up the night. She was once a lover of mine. We would sit in her garden and drink all her wine, blow out candles and talk about God in the dark. Then we'd sleep in the yard. And the reason we laugh is for one day we'll cry, like the reason we live is for one day we'll die. And the reason we give is for one day we'll steal. Is a song for a world who can't feel. Is a song for a world who can't feel. Winter came and it carried no torch. It just sparked up the windows and stood on the porch. The flowers she planted is hiding its face as it bends, dies in the wind. And the lantern lit up our room as we drew all the tarots, cast all the rooms. Then she'd take down her hair and she'd lay in my arms. That's where she belonged. And the reason we laugh is for one day we'll cry, like the reason we live is for one day we'll die. And the reason we give is for one day we'll sleep. Is a song for a world we can't feel. Is a song for a world we can't feel. Once a soulmate of mine, till she packed up her clothing, books and her wine. She wrote me a note that said, honey, don't cry, but I can't say goodbye. And the sun went down early that day as the stars came out twinkling, children at play. Tears fill my eyes when I think of the words she can't say. Why did she go away? Well, the reason we laugh is for one day we'll cry, like the reason we live is for one day we'll die. And the reason we give is for one day we'll steal. Is a song for a world that can't feel. Is a song for a world that can't feel.
All things unseen desire no acknowledgement, to all who concede to be trapped in the conscious state, who cannot perceive beyond their own element, who ostracize me for presenting the paradox of Paraclete to comfort me. The serpent be wise, but it only takes a fool and his flute to deceive him, unweave him from his basket of truth, mesmerized by the music of lies. Don't be ensnared or lured by society. Please don't forget it was they who had stolen your dreams as a child, in exchange for the immaculate lilac. The time in your youth you'd see things in your room and cry out. Your mother rushed and turned the light. I don't believe you, I don't believe you. Close your eyes, it is alright. It's only a dream. I did not want you. I never loved you. I never loved you. She's teaching you how not to see. I want you. I do not want you. Just like her society. The Institute of Higher Earning seduced you from your path of learning. They say the soul is but a theory, and now your body's growing weary. But now you've got no God to pray to, for God is only human virtue, astronomically projected, unreal for science can't detect it, nor put it in an incubator, a test tube or an oscillator, subjected to a human scrutiny. Can't they see there are things bigger than you and bigger than me? All things that live desire a continuance, and all things that die desire a reverence. All souls contained have fear of the elements, and all souls released shall return to the embodiment of all that is God, and all that is man ascends to all that is God, and all that is man. The Institute of Higher Earning seduced you from your path of learning. They say the soul is but a theory, and now your body's growing weary, and now you've got no God to pray to, for God is only human virtue, astronomically projected, unreal for science can't detect it, nor put it in an incubator, a test tube or an oscillator, subjected to a human scrutiny. Can't they see there are things bigger than you and bigger than me? Can't they see the God that's within is within the God that's without? Can't they see the God that's within is within the God that's without?
song, give you a book of poems. I built a throne for you. I took you away, covered your eyes, tried to drink all your sorrow. I laid hands on you. If I'd known the truth, that you were only seeking refuge, my world seemed new. Yes, my world seemed far less through. I'd not have bartered my days, but my world would also come to age. You go away back to his arms, but now they're warm, the place where you belong. I saw you today, you were outside, saw you in your garden, through the yellow windows of the evening bus. I said to my friend, you are the one who taught me to say I love you. But now I can't say trust. You knew the truth. I was building worlds around you. I could not hear you cry, for I placed you on a throne far too high. I could not see you fall, so there was no way for me to ever catch you. While my back was turned, you had flown back to his arms, the place where you belong. I'm alone on this stage where love had been played. Curtains closed, you're in your home. I closed the show for you. I'll pack up the dream, lock up that room, take off all my makeup. I built a throne for you. We knew the truth, that we were only seeking refuge. Our world seemed new. Our world seems just as cruel. We bartered our days in vain, for our world will also come to age. You go away back to his arms, now they're warm, the place where you belong. I wished on a star, wrote you a song, gave you a book of poems. I built a throne for you. I built a throne for you.
This is Blair Murphy, and this has been Midway Radio. It's 41 degrees tonight, and this is still August, and that's just wrong. Good night.
Susie smiles, what's your sign? I could read the stars for you. Sit high atop my stony roof and whisper to the gods for you. Like winters pass through the hours pack up my hat and stroll back home. Elisa frowns, please sit down. Let me read your poem for you. Spring shall bring a stranger round. I think he'll change your world for you. He'll write you poems. He'll sing you songs. You'll sleep with him in your candle room. Jennifer cries, don't walk by. Let me read your cards for you. The Queen of Cups is upside down. She's trying to get a message through. You move too swift. You change too quick. So please slow down. Just look around. This is your town. Mary laughs. Please come back. I swear I'll read these rooms for you. And I'll be glad to give your money back if what I say does not come true. You'll meet this guy with deep blue eyes. He'll make you smile. He'll read your mind. He'll keep your dime. So come on, smile. What's your sign? I can read the stars for you. Sit high top my stony roof. Whisper to the gods for you. Whisper to the gods for you. Whisper to the gods for you. Stroll back home.